3.5 miles beneath your feet right now, magma is moving. Not metaphorically. Not historically. Right now. It is pushing upward into a reservoir the size of a small city. The rock above it is not melting. It is cracking. And every crack is an earthquake. The United States Geological Survey recorded 350 of them directly beneath Mount St. Helens. 38 in a single week. Most of them too small for any human being to feel. But the instruments felt them. And for the first time in more than a decade, the USGS used a very specific word in their public notice. Recharge. Geologists don't say that word casually. Recharge is what happens when fresh magma enters the upper reservoir of a volcano and raises the pressure from the inside. The mountain doesn't announce it. There's no rumbling you can hear from your living room. No smoke. No orange glow on the news. Just pressure. Building. Underground. Weston Thalen, a research seismologist at the Cascades Volcano Observatory, described it carefully. Recharging is just the way they talk about small pieces of magma moving. No change in the volcano's shape. No change in gas output. No reason, they say, to be alarmed. Seth Moran, former scientist in charge at the observatory, put it a different way. In essence, what we have is a blood pressure cuff continuously on Mount St. Helens. We are taking its pulse. The pulse is elevated. Here is what the mountain actually looks like from the inside. The upper reservoir sits between 2.5 and 6 miles below sea level. Below that, a deep hot zone stretches down to 16 miles. The iMUSH project, which buried 2,500 seismometers around the mountain between 2014 and 2016, confirmed the two-reservoir plumbing system. Magma rises from the deep zone into the upper chamber. When enough arrives, the pressure has nowhere to go. Sometimes it bleeds off quietly over years. Sometimes it does not. Recharge sequences at Mount St. Helens have happened before. 1988 to 1992. 1995 to 1996. 1997 to 1999. Each time the mountain refilled, cracked, and went silent again. Nobody died. Nobody even noticed. But the sequence from 2004 to 2008 was different. That one built a lava dome inside the crater the size of a skyscraper. That one erupted. Which sequence is this? Nobody on Earth can tell you yet. The activity quieted through late 2024 and into 2025. But it never returned to the dormant baseline. As of September 2025, USGS still had the alert level at green. Normal. The mountain, however, does not check the USGS website. On January 30, 2026, the Army Corps of Engineers made an announcement. It did not make national news. It should have. The Corps announced it would raise the sediment retention structure on the North Fork Toutle River. The dam was built in 1989 specifically to catch volcanic debris flowing down from the mountain. It is 1,888 feet long, 184 feet high, designed to hold 258 million cubic yards of sediment. It was effectively full by 2012. Today it captures roughly 20% of the sediment that flows past it. When it was new, it caught 80%. The valley floor behind it has risen by approximately 100 feet of packed volcanic debris. The Corps will spend between $25 and $100 million to raise it. Construction starts summer 2026. The deadline is October 2027. They are racing the mountain. Ask yourself why. If there is no reason to be alarmed, why is the Army Corps of Engineers on a deadline? To understand what they are racing against, you have to follow the water. When a volcano like Mount St. Helens produces a lahar, a volcanic mudflow, it does not stay on the mountain. It follows the rivers. It follows them fast. In 1980, the lahar reached the Cowlitz River near Castle Rock in roughly 2 hours. It reached the Columbia River by evening. The North Fork Toutle flows west. It meets the main Toutle River. The Toutle meets the Cowlitz near Castle Rock, Washington, population roughly 2,400. Interstate 5 crosses the Toutle River on a single bridge here, 1 mile south of the Cowlitz confluence. Interstate 5 is the main north-south artery of the entire west coast. The BNSF railway mainline runs parallel. The Cowlitz flows south to Kelso, population roughly 12,000. Then to Longview, population just under 38,000, where it meets the Columbia River. Home of the Port of Longview, one of the Pacific Northwest's major bulk cargo terminals. Then downstream, Kalama, Washington. And then Portland, Oregon. 652,000 people. 50 miles south. In 1980, the lahar dropped the Longview shipping channel from 40 feet deep to 14. Deep draft ships could not move for weeks. The Columbia River, the main artery of Pacific Northwest commerce, was effectively closed. Today, the total number of Americans whose daily lives sit inside the Interstate 5 and Columbia River Lahar exposure corridor is over 300,000. 300,000 people on a map that was drawn in 1980. 40,000 vehicles cross the Toutle River Bridge at Castle Rock every single day. Most of them never look east at the mountain. His name was Harry R. Truman. He was 83 years old in the spring of 1980. He owned the Mount St. Helens Lodge at Spirit Lake, 5 miles north of the crater. For 54 years he had lived on that mountain. When the evacuation orders came, when the sheriff's deputies came, when the reporters came, when his own family begged him, Truman refused. He told interviewers the mountain would never hurt him. He said he and the mountain were the same age. He gave one-liners, poured whiskey, and did not leave. On the morning of May 18, 1980, at 8:32 a.m. Pacific Time, the north face of Mount St. Helens collapsed. The largest subaerial landslide in recorded human history. 3.3 cubic kilometers of mountain came apart in minutes. The lateral blast began at 220 miles per hour and accelerated past 670, faster than sound. It flattened everything within 19 miles of the vent. 57 people died. Harry R. Truman was buried under 150 feet of debris along with his 16 cats. He has never been recovered. He did not believe the warnings. The warnings were right. 45 years later, the warning is one word: recharge. 3.5 miles below the crater floor. 350 earthquakes. 38 in a single week. The largest, magnitude 2.0. 95% invisible to human senses. The dam built to protect the valley is already full. The Army Corps is racing a deadline. The bridge at Castle Rock still carries 40,000 vehicles a day. The shipping channel at Longview sits 50 miles from Portland's waterfront. And on the slopes of the mountain, 1980 ash still lifts in the wind. Hikers still mistake it for smoke. The ghost of the last eruption, rising off the hillside, mistaken for the beginning of the next one. No federal agency will answer this question on camera. If this is only recharge, why is the dam being raised on a deadline? If there is no reason to be alarmed, why did the word recharge appear in a federal notice for the first time in a decade? And if Harry Truman, who knew that mountain better than any geologist alive in 1980, could be completely, fatally wrong about what it would do, what exactly are the rest of us sure of? Right now, as you watch this, magma is still rising into the upper reservoir. The dam is still filling one storm at a time. And somewhere 3.5 miles down, Mount St. Helens is clearing its throat.